In the next 3 minutes, I'm going to share with you a 3-step formula for high achieving men that are crushing it in their business, but are struggling in their marriage and have lost connection with their kids. And it only takes 10 minutes a day. My name is Joel Evan. I'm a best-selling author, former first responder, and I've been with my wife for 15 years, and I have 2 young boys. And after 10 years of marriage, my marriage was on the brink of divorce. But I was able to radically change it in just 3 months. And here's the crazy thing. Prior to changing my marriage and fatherhood, I was already a life coach. I was already someone who had invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal development and had done 4 years of therapy. And yet still my marriage and connection with my kids sucked. And I thought I had done it all. And I really felt like there was nothing else left to be done. I had reached this point where I really believed that my wife and kids were the problem and that there was nothing else left to be done. But boy, was I wrong. And I realized that after my own transformation, that there was an actual framework or system to doing this that could be replicated with all men. And the fact of the matter is, marriage is a skill, and so is fatherhood. And just like going to the gym to get fit or starting a business, you need the right skills and strategies and consistent follow through to achieve long lasting success. And that's why I'm on such a mission right now to help men build unshakable marriages and deeper connection with their kids. Most of the men that I work with, they just want to have a peaceful family life and they want their kids and their wives just to be happy. But the problem is they don't know how to achieve work-life balance and still go out and crush it in their business, all while maintaining presence and connection with their wife and family. And their ultimate goal is to provide the best life for their family. And they've probably tried therapy like I did for 4 years and they've gotten nowhere, or they're even just dreading the idea of having to go to therapy. Either way, the good news is you don't have to. There's 3 things that I've seen that men hate to do that is getting in their way from achieving presence, connection, intimacy with their spouse and children. And so what guys tend to hear from their wife is, you're never present, you're always on your phone, why don't you just open up to me and be more vulnerable? But men never do this because opening up feels like a sign of weakness. And then their wives complain to other wives like, he never talks to me anymore. And I get it, guys. Being vulnerable, it's stressful because conversations can go sideways really quickly. And so most men, they just avoid them altogether. The second thing that gets high achieving men stuck is that spending time on non-productive activities like hanging out with the kids, it just feels like a complete waste of time because doing these activities doesn't produce immediate or tangible results, and they don't directly contribute to your business success or your personal success. And so it just feels like a big waste of time. And then the third thing is something that I've already covered, which is therapy. Therapy is a complete waste of your time or money. And when you do it, it doesn't really move the needle that much in your life or relationships. And so we can actually achieve deep connection with our wives and kids in as little as 10 minutes a day. And I'm going to show you how right now. The first thing is this, is I've completely normalized vulnerability in my relationship. And I'm not doing that by sharing my deepest and darkest secrets. Vulnerability, by the way, if it's done right, it's probably the quickest way for intimacy for men. But most of you will never believe me because vulnerability is getting overused nowadays. And most of you don't know unless you've actually done it correctly. I've done something in my own life that I call my over communication formula. And what I've done is I've found a way to create this sense of vulnerability and depth and intimacy in the relationship without all the mushy feelings kind of stuff. The second thing is we've got to reframe non-productive activities like playing Legos or cars with your kids. And so what I've done is I use a simple 5-step formula that has created massive inroads with my kids and restored our connection and love for each other. And it only takes 10 minutes a day. And this has worked for hundreds of guys, by the way. And lastly, therapy doesn't work. I should know because I did it for 4 years. Therapy only works on the conscious mind, guys. And so it's only tapping into 5% of the brain. Now, recent neuroscience has shown repeatedly that the subconscious brain is running 95% of our decision-making processes. But most therapists, they never tap into that. And that's why coaching and being surrounded by a tribe of other men is so much more powerful for creating lasting change. So number one is I've created a structured communication framework that you can use to ask all the right questions, to ask your spouse that not only creates more connection, but they're set up in a way that makes it impossible to argue with each other. Number two is I've got a 5-step framework that has worked for hundreds of men, like I mentioned, and it's going to help you build connection with your kids, and it only takes 10 minutes a day. And number three, the last thing is, which is one of the best things that I've done for my own personal development, was being surrounded by a tribe or a community of other men who were working towards the same goal. The fact is, men need other men. And so I want to give you access to my Limitless Fathers group, my app, for 14 days for free. So you can just see the power of community, accountability, and support that has not only changed my life, but also for many others. So if you're interested in these free resources, simply drop me a line below and I'll get them all to you.